has responsibilities that many people don't understand. Many people just think the teacher is up there to put out some knowledge, and that's it. The teacher's responsibility is to assess that knowledge program and see if it's being delivered in a manner that the students can plainly understand it and that they are indeed understanding it. I am constantly assessing what we are doing here, and I'm trying to improve upon it, but I can't go any further than you will go with me. Once a month is not sufficient. The presentation will be all right, but you need to go back and do some work in between time. You will be right here 10 years from now, still have about the same level of understanding if you don't put anything into it. If you don't put anything into it, you won't get anything out of it. I want to say this concerning the course itself. We refer to it as Quranic Arabic. Some of you will remember that Imam Mohammed explained that to us before he started just using the word Quranic. Eventually he just used the word Quranic. But he let us know that this was Fusha. This is the highest of the Arabic language. There are many Arabic-speaking people today, but they don't speak Fusha. None of them speak Fusha. So Fusha is the perfect language. It's the perfectness of the language, and it is the standard by which other Arabic-speaking people judge their language. When you want to deal with the grammar, they have to go to the Quran. All right, that's the Fusha. All right, and we need to understand the importance of it, because some of us think, I want to sound like I heard a Pakistani say this, and I want to sound like him. You're making a mistake. You're making a mistake, because they have left the language. They have left the language. Imam Muhammad said hundreds and hundreds of years ago. That's how he put it, hundreds. I just listened to it recently. I can tell you where you can get it, and also pitch a sale here for Mosque, because you need to get. I was so glad that he put this on CD, the story of Joseph. The story of Joseph. That's why he mentioned. He said they've left it hundreds. He repeated hundreds and hundreds. I think he said repeated it 3 times. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago. And they don't understand Arabic as well as you can understand it, because they are stuck with what they have. And I had one brother tell me one day, we both were chaplains at Stateville Prison, and because I would explain it to him, he told me, brother, we can't talk about religion. We talk about socks, and we talk about the bears, because he had never studied the language. He's been speaking Arabic all the time, but not Fusha. And if you go to the Fusha, then nobody will ever be able to mislead you. It's important that we say this before. So don't think just because you heard somebody say it different way, or from the way Imam Muhammad taught us, well, I said that way, I like this way, I got a choice. You have a choice of going right or going astray. That's how much. And why is that important? Before we only have about 5 or 6 words up here today. Why is that important? He explained in that same talk on Joseph. He said that he believes that these dialects that come away from the language, that is the plan of Satan to get you away from your knowledge source. This is our knowledge source. And if you go at it any other way other than the Fusha, you're going to miss much of what is intended for us there. All right? So I just wanted to share that with you, and also let you know that if you're having problems, I have put my number out there. I've gotten a few calls. Got the one that I remember most was from a brother in, I think he's in, I don't know where he was on the East Coast, New York or New Jersey one. But he kind of let me know he was bailing out on me. He said, I'm 84 years old. I ain't gonna learn like this. We talked a couple of times. He let me know I'm 84 years old. I quit. I don't quit. All right, so let's remember that this is our knowledge source, and without the knowledge, our guidance will be very much impaired. We will be impaired in our process of seeking guidance from Allah.
You mentioned Fusha.
Fusha.
Okay, the meaning?
it means, let's see how I would say it. I said it, but I want to try to say it a different way. If you speak proper, means proper. Okay, proper. Okay, the pure language. It's the pure language. Well, and to explain to you the way it is, it's like the English we speak. You know, the English we speak is not perfect English.
I just wasn't used to the terminology.
Right. Well, he did. I didn't make it up. And I know. Too. I was just letting you know. I also was reminding you where I got it from because I got a recent reminder, and I don't know whether this was the talk that I had asked Brother Warren II to put on CDs some time ago when CDs first started coming out. CDs, but he was restricted then as to what his father said could go on. But I had it. I mean, I had it, but I didn't have anything to play it on because it's on cassette tape. You know what I mean? That was back then. But now, you know, and see, this is we don't want to get too far in this right now because we're going to talk about it later. The reason why because we're going to talk about it later on in talk in Muslim identity. No, I'm not trying to get out of it, but I'm going to talk about it later. All right, but this is the storehouse. Okay, I'll leave you right there. But this is the storehouse, and Joseph was left in charge of the storehouse. Okay, now let's go. We'll get back to that later on. All right. So last week we had gotten up to Rabbil Alameen, and then so any words that are repeated in the Quran, we're not going to repeat them in our lesson. You know, I mean, I'm talking about, you know, like. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, that's Bismillah Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, then Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, and then Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim again. We just went straight on to Maliki Yawmid Deen, okay? And so Maliki comes from the word Malaka, and Malaka means to possess or to own. So that's translated, you know, as master. And it's going to get mad. It just says translated as master or I don't know how else it's translated as judge or Lord, but it comes from the word malakat, which means to possess. And if you own something, then you are the master of it, right? Excuse me. Okay. So Maliki, while it's also translated as king, but it means that you own something. That really is the owner. It's the noun form of malakat, which means to own or to possess. Yawm, Maliki Yawm. Yawm is translated as day. But it's very important that we understand this is not the day that we think of like today is Sunday. April the 5th, right? April the 5th. No. Yawm, this day is an era of time, not 24 hours. Naharun is the day like today is Sunday. That's Naharun. And it means, Nahara means to blossom. So the day blossoms like with the sun coming up, it blossoms. So that's so it's two different days. Okay, so it's not wrong to say day of judgment, but understand that this day is not limited to 24 hours. It's an era, all right, a time period. And then Deen, Maliki Yawmid Deen. Now, you notice here also that I didn't put anything on this log nor on this one. This is what it's called wasal. It should be at here. But in pronouncing we say Yawmid. We skip this and this. Why do we skip this? Because this is a sun letter and this is a sun letter. And whenever two sun letters come together, you cancel the first one in pronunciation, but you still have to write it. But you cancel it in pronunciation, and you double the second one in pronunciation and dictation. So the dictation means we put the shat there, that means it's written twice, all right? This means it's written twice. And then we pronounce it, so we say Yawmid and then Deen. And so if you're saying Yawmid Deen, you're not pronouncing it correct. It's Yawmid Deen. Yawmid Deen. All right? And Deen is coming from the word Dainun, which means debt. And you may know someone who has a name that's derived from Dane. I do. I don't see him here now, but they'll be here sometime. And that's Madyun. Madyun is coming from the word Dane. And while it's a person's name, the name doesn't say person. It says place. place of indebtedness. So that person, when you look at that person, you're looking at one who recognizes that he's in debt. That should be all of us. He said that should be all of us because we're indebted to Allah. Okay. So I just thought I'd throw that up there to let you know, because Madhyun doesn't sound like it come from debt. Yes, sir.
I just realized you must have inspired us to have the Ramadan session. That's the part of the title for this year's Ramadan session is researching our faith for the implementation of no, that's the convention is the indebtedness, right?
No.
The convention is indebtedness.
Oh, okay, all right. But we'll get more into it as we get closer to it then, all right? And in the convention itself. All right. Is that it?
Yeah, no, that's not it. It's the convention. It's the convention.
All right.
Indebtedness.
All right. Okay. So it says he's the master or king or lord of the day of indebtedness. Day of indebtedness. You know, Imam Muhammad pointed out to us, he said, this is the day of religion. Deen doesn't really mean religion. They will use that terminology. It means debt. So this is the day of indebtedness, when nothing is going to count but how you fulfill your obligation. A debt is an obligation, right? So how are we fulfilling our obligation? Let's go on. We could spend quite a bit of time just on that term alone, on llmul-Deen. And we are in that day when what is being examined is based on how we respond. I'm talking about our personal examination. Is on how do we respond to our indebtedness. Do you get up and it's another day. I don't know what I'm gonna do today, and never even think about the fact that you didn't wake yourself up?
Right.
I mean, the least we should do is get up and make the Fajr prayer.
Right.
But we also should, when we first wake up, we should be thankful for waking up in itself and say, Alhamdulillahi ladhi ahyana ba'da ma amaytana. All praise is due to Allah, who has given us life after this our death. And actually now that's talking about the night's sleep, but we have a double portion for that, a double use for that, because we're also living in an era where as a people, he has awakened us from our death. All right. Then we have Iyaka. That's going to go Iyaka na'budu, or Iyaka. Iyaka is a compound word. All right. It has two words. Which is coming from Aya, and Iyaka is coming from Aya, and then Ka. I said Iya is coming from Aya, and then Ka. Ka is a pronoun that is attached at the end of words. It's called a suffix. It's a pronoun for you, person that you're speaking to, and it's the masculine form, and it's singular. Ka for a man, for masculine. Ki for female, or for feminine. And kumar for two, male or female. And kum for many, meaning three or more. Kum. This is Iyaka. So I put up here in parentheses that this word, this term is llmul-Mawsul. Llmul-Mawsul. Ismi Mawsul. Ismi simply means name or word. Name, it means name. And Mawsul is coming from the word wasalah. Wasalah is a connected point. It's also a stopping point. We have letters when we're writing there, it says wasal, meaning that they say it's silent, but that's a place of stopping. So we're saying here that you are the place where we stop when we worship. We don't go no further than that. Now here's how the man put it. He said, you alone. You remember how he just said, you alone do we worship. I mean, this is the place where we stop. We don't go no further than you in our worship. We're talking to Allah, we don't go any further than you for our worship. All right? And then na'budu. Any questions on that though? Wasalah. This is the root word for this word here. Wasalah. I want to show you that so you can see